As I get older, one theme that's constantly pushing its way to the front of my consciousness, day in and day out, is simply not wasting any more time on the past, either reliving it or regretting it, but simply trying to make the most of what I have left with as much enthusiasm as I can honestly muster, because you know what? There'll be plenty of time for doing nothing afterwards. In my latest video, What If You Won the Lottery, link below, I offered a question to you all. The question being, if you won the lottery, would it finally give you the courage to leave your unhappy life? Whether it be a job, routines that no longer fit you, stale ex-lovers, what would it take for you to finally have the courage to just be honest with your own life? And instead of waiting for that mythical lottery that will never come, whether it be money or a woman, why not simply live as enthusiastically and as contently as that lottery would theoretically give you permission to? It's more than just an interesting thing to think about. It's one of the few things worth thinking about. You know, you guys left some great comments under that video. A subscriber named AU, his comments stood out. In particular, he said, I quote, "For years, I worked a bank job, just going through the motions of life. I hated the sound of my alarm in the morning so much. I would wake up before it, and my stomach would immediately turn. I had problems sleeping. I didn't like the people I worked with, didn't like sitting in an office all day, etc. For years, I just endured, tortured myself. I was open about how I didn't like my job with friends and family. I even looked for other jobs, but I couldn't start another field of work because I would lose too much income starting over. I had trapped myself in a good paying job and was living up to that lifestyle. I began to gain weight, began not to care, and it wasn't until I began to drink, and drink somewhat regularly, that I began to really question myself. I saw the trajectory of my life through small course corrections, and I realized something had to change. I stopped the drinking and cut it off before it became a problem, but the fact was I still couldn't pull the trigger and separate myself from that income. I was selling my soul, my life, every single day for that money. It wasn't until I took a vacation and went to visit my best friend, who I had known since childhood. He had 2 children, both of whom looked up to me as an uncle and loved and respected me. They picked me up from the airport and we were all smiles and happy driving home. Then his teenage son asked me a question. He simply asked, "Are you still working that job you hate?" He didn't ask that question like he was being a smart-mouthed teenager. He instead asked it like he was genuinely concerned. And in that moment, time stopped for me. In that moment, I felt ashamed of myself and the man I had become. I didn't want to answer him truthfully, but I couldn't lie to him either. I saw myself through his eyes. I remember being a teenager, a young man, and looking up to my uncles and my father's friends, asking them tough questions about the world. I remember some of those answers too, and I hated myself because I was about to say the same thing. You know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do in life. His simple question ate me alive, and I wanted to run, escape. I wanted to hide. In that moment, I realized this isn't what I wanted for my life. Why am I being a coward? Why have I confined myself to this lifestyle? Doubled down on it even, by selling myself out more and more. He needed an answer. He deserved an honest answer. That pause, which was maybe only a moment, a hesitation by me, seemed like years went by in my head. The car was quiet, everyone waiting. I knew I couldn't lie to him. Before I answered, though, I made a promise to myself that I would never have to answer that terrible question this way again. I said, "Yes, I am." These were hateful words that left my lips, and I was so angry and ashamed of myself, felt so low, that the first thing I did when I got back to my job 2 weeks later is I walked in and gave my 2-week notice. Instead of accepting it, my boss instead showed me my numbers. I was the best on the team. "You can't go. Here, let me give you a big fat raise." I didn't flinch. I told her, no, I need to quit. She asked me why. You're pleasant to be around. Everyone loves you here. Is it the money? Are you going back to your old employer? Did you find another job? We'll see if we can match your pay. Why? Why are you leaving us? I remember I sat in the office chair across from my boss and I spoke truthful words. I said, I feel like I'm a saltwater fish in a freshwater pond and I'm dying every day. I need to go find my ocean. It's out there somewhere. I need to go find it before it's too late. She said, wow, where did you read that from? I didn't read it from anywhere. It's honestly the way I felt. So I left banking, and 6 years later, I can honestly say I'm working the best job of my life. It wasn't easy. I suffered a lot of financial hardships and setbacks, and I lost a lot of family and friends who didn't understand the why behind what I was doing. But I can honestly say, even though my job doesn't pay anything near what I used to make, and my lifestyle has been radically simplified, this is what I should have been doing all along. That search, trial and error, falling on my face, trying different things until something finally clicked. It worked. I'm more of a man now than I ever was before. More importantly, I would do it all over again, no matter the losses, without question. It was a trial by fire, but I was made stronger, better, and I feel like I'm doing the things now. I can look myself in the mirror and be proud of myself. Best of all, when the alarm rings in the morning, I bounce out of bed and seize the day. Talk about night and day. And that was AU's comment. Thanks very much, AU. I appreciate you sharing the lesson, as I'm sure others do too. You know, to me, going your way and living your way and doing what is honest, fair, and right is and should be about feeling alive and proud of the life you wake up to. I mean, not every day is going to feel euphoric, but the point, I think, is not waking up to a fraudulent life that's wasting away, to a life that feels like someone else's. No, time is running out. Don't speak the cliche of, why didn't I do this sooner, through dentures. Don't tolerate a life that is not yours one moment longer, gentlemen. Say what you want and be who you are. There is literally no time to do anything else. Seize the day, gentlemen. Later. If you appreciate my videos, feel free to support me. Links on my channel. Thanks, guys.